You are now live streaming on YouTube.
It says preparing to live stream, setting up your meeting.
Suburban, you have to let people in now. I lost that option.
Here, let me take off the waiting room.
We're going to take off the waiting room.
Perfect.
Mute them upon entry.
Yeah.
And don't let them unlock them. Don't let them,
Perfect.
is there a thing where we cannot let them?
We can hear you.
Okay, change me.
Wow.
Hello. Hi. Hello. Should we be on mute? Okay.
Yes, please. Thank you. make sure that you are on mute, please. Thank you.
Can I see my, okay.
Yeah, go to the little like, arrow. On the one side. Mute yourself. Mute yourself.
Good evening, everybody. This is Principal Diane Burbank. Thank you for joining us tonight to learn more about the opening of the 2021 school year. We are also live streaming on YouTube. It doesn't look like we're up to the 500 participants, so maybe some people are already watching us on that live streaming. Again, we're on the YouTube Woodside High School Video Production channel. Thank you for joining us. And so some ground rules tonight as we talk about the opening of school. It's going to be different this year, right? The ground rules is that these are different and difficult times. You've heard that in all of my emails that I've sent daily and now through the summer weekly. And though these difficult and different times also have evolving parameters. My expectation is that we are civil and respectful of all stakeholders. Because of the length of time, only 45 minutes, we've got a lot of information to give. And so please use the chat as a way to put in your questions as everybody is muted except for those who are presenting. I've got two capable chat managers, IVP Diane Mazzei and Head Guidance Counselor, Mr. Francisco Negri. Both this Zoom presentation we are recording and the slides in English and then the 6 o'clock Spanish version will be posted on our website. So if you want to go back and watch it, it will be on our website. It will also be available on the live stream. So you can go backwards and forward as often as you like. Thanks for joining us tonight. And so our mission that hangs above the entrance door is all Woodside students can and will learn. And we have that same mission and are carrying it forward even when we're in the pandemic, even when we're starting the school year distance learning. That is still our mission. These are, as you know, we're known as the Sunflower School because we're a qualia demonstration school. We believe that there are non-academic means toward the academic ends. We never stop at belonging, but we always start at belonging. It's going to be a challenge this year because we won't have students on campus. We won't have the brick and mortar and of course all the orange on campus that students and teachers enjoy. We won't have that brick and mortar to start the school year. So we're going to be creative about building connectedness virtually. We're taking a lot of time to do that well. But the academic ends is really what's most important. As a first-time college goer in my family, I take it very seriously, our mission to get it right and to get kids not only college ready, but ready to be successful in college. People did that for me when I was in school, and I want to make sure I'm that person for our students and for families. So for tonight's presentation, which I promised would provide clarity, and of course I say we're going to get clarity and then the San Mateo County gives us new news today, which may impact some of the things like arena check-in. But you know that my Woodside staff and I are capable and we are diving in to the work to get it right. And so these people will be presenting on these topics throughout this 45-minute presentation. We hope to press pause and end between 45 and 50. As you know, we've got the Spanish version coming up at 6 o'clock, so we all want to have a little time for a bio break, a sip of water. All right. So structures for at-home learning. I know that many of you have shared your student experience with me, and students have shared their experience with me throughout the summer and even throughout the spring. We want credit for pivoting so quickly to distance learning, but there were some obstacles and there were some potholes, and where the rubber hits the road, if we're really going to stick with the road metaphor, there were some roadblocks and some detours. Students' experiences were varied. Maybe they were really good in one class and not so much in another class. Maybe they really loved the distance learning because it allowed them to maybe go at their own pace. Maybe your student hated distance learning, maybe because they couldn't get enough teacher help, maybe because they just missed their peer interaction. Know that teachers were constrained last spring. They were constrained by the no pass grading decision. Teachers were constrained by my own directive as their principal to embrace the less is more. It was a new time for all of us, and I think everyone was trying to do their best. Those two decisions of the no pass grading and the less is more approach, those were the right decisions for that time. Those are not the right decisions for moving forward because we're in a new time, starting a new school year. We've done it longer and we want to learn from those roadblocks and obstacles. This fall, those decisions aren't in place, so teachers will not be constrained by either one of those. We also have, your students will enjoy, maybe that's too high a word to use, your students will enjoy a bell schedule. They will enjoy 70-minute blocks. They will enjoy having their attendance taken. Teachers will be live with your students for a Monday and Tuesday rotation going through each period and a Thursday and Friday rotation. On Wednesday, students will have a recommended work schedule to keep them on track. Teachers will have office hours in the afternoon. And what we're really excited about, what this district does so well, is professional development for staff. And so teachers will be enjoying PD the week before your kids come to school on access, on engagement, on assessment, and on equitable, all focused on starting the year with distance learning. We're really excited about it. So let me share with you those are the structures. Now let me share with you what that bell schedule will look like. So this is a tentative bell schedule. We might be doing a little bit of tweaking here and there. This tentative bell schedule before you has been vetted by our campus department chairs and our campus union representatives, but we still have some other things to approvals to go through. So let's look at the tentative bell schedule. For first quarter, because you know that we've decided to go distance learning for first quarter and then have to meet some medical markers before we stop that distance learning. But for first quarter, this is what you and your student can count on. 70-minute blocks. You can count on an 8:30 start. You can count on attendance taken every period. That's part of the state requirement. You can count on synchronous classes. That means everybody together at the same time on Monday and Tuesday for one full rotation and Thursday and Friday for a second rotation of the week. You can count on that at-home schedule for Wednesday, but your student will be working solo or working on projects, collaborating on Google or other platforms with kids, but their teacher may not be present for that time. We're gonna fill that Wednesday with teacher time so that they can get better at the distance instruction while your student is getting better at the at-home learning. The teacher office hours, I can't remember if I already said that. I want to make sure I point that out again, where teachers will be available online. We're not sure what platform, and it may vary from teacher to teacher. So your student can Zoom in or meet in or hang out in Google with a teacher to be able to get the help they need. At Woodside, we used to call that tutorial, and it was offered in the middle of the day right after lunch, and kids got to move around and pick where they got help. That will be the feature of the teacher office hours. We believe that we'll be able to, with some minor tweaks, be able to keep this same bell schedule when we ramp up to having more kids on campus, either a hybrid model or eventually everybody on campus at the same time. You'll notice that the 0 period is at the end of the day now, and that is to keep a consistent start time. We thought that was really valuable to keep the consistent teacher prep time. So that 0 period, we are not loading with a lot of classes. Currently, the only 0 period class we have is the same 0 period class we've had for about the past 7 or 8 years, and that has been the advanced jazz band. So if you think your student is going to have a 0, probably not, unless they were one of those students that started school last year at 7 a.m. in the morning. So the Tuesday is actually more of an early release for kids. And then Wednesday, they have a suggested work schedule. Now we're going to go to Miss Mazzei. And Miss Mazzei, do I have to unmute you? Nod your head. Yes. Okay. And I think there you go. This is Instructional Vice Principal Diane Mazzei.
Well, welcome everybody to this virtual platform. And if you go to the next slide, I'll get you going on the master schedule, because I know that all of you want to know how it is we're going to offer everything that your student signed up for way back in February, March, April, and May. But one thing I will tell you is that we have learned so much. The distance learning product that we put forth for 3 months, starting in March when we had 2 days to pivot to it, is going to be radically different. We have learned and reflected, and we've had the opportunity to hear from our community and make some of the necessary changes. So I believe that you're going to have a much more positive experience, and that's our goal. We want our students to participate in high quality online instruction, but we need them to engage in it. So we've got some tricks up our sleeves this year to really make sure students are going to want to open up that Zoom chat room and get in there and work with each other. But I want to make something clear. I'm looking at some of the chats, and I want to just, because I know we've been in it for so long that of course we know all that. On Monday, August 17th, all grade levels, all Woodside High School students will participate in 100% structured distance learning through the first quarter of the fall semester. Okay. So what's going to happen? Students are going to receive a class schedule just like they would if we were in person. It just will be online. And the beautiful part of this is they were able to keep all of their courses. And we're really excited and proud to be able to offer that. Students and teachers are going to follow a consistent bell schedule. So some of you are in the chat are like, they're really going to talk for 70 minutes on a screen? Our poor kids' eyes are going to go crazy. No, that's not necessarily what's going to happen. We don't encourage 70 minutes of teacher-directed time. It's going to be broken up in chunks. For example, a teacher will start the class for the first 10, 15 minutes, front load the kids, and then put them in breakout rooms where they're collaborating with each other, and the teacher can bounce from room to room. Or it could be, that's the end of the lesson, here's your lesson, I need you to do your homework or start your work and things like that. So it's not going to be just screen time. Attendance is going to be taken. Absolutely. It's going to count. It matters. And students will receive and earn letter grades. Our staff will communicate common expectations for assigning work. Where do students go to find out what homework they have? Canvas is going to be our platform where teachers are going to have consistent, common expectations for posting work, assigning work, collecting work, and providing feedback. Next slide, please. Okay, tech access. You know, we tried as a district. We got hotspots in the hand of 205 students that needed them, and they just weren't enough. They were barely enough for 4 hours of a Zoom. So we'd give kids 2 or 3 to try to make it work. The district has solved that problem, and we will have now unlimited Wi-Fi hotspots to give out to students that need them. There's going to be various hot points, Wi-Fi points in the community in East Palo Alto and some places in Redwood City. That's going to take a little bit time, about a month or so to get up. And then worst case or best case, if you can't get any of the other 2, we're going to be working with Comcast to set the family up with Wi-Fi. So we believe we are going to do a far better job of making sure students have access via the internet at their home to participate fully. There is a link on the district website, technology support, and that's going to take you through where you can sign up to get a hotspot. You might need a computer. We have Chromebooks, plenty of those, and what we found that we didn't have are the Mac or the PC, because Adobe Creative Cloud only runs on those. And we have 303 students that are taking those courses that need that. So right now we're finding out, Ms. Burbank sent you a link. If you're in that course, let us know. Do you have access to that? If not, we are going to provide you access to Creative Cloud. There's daily live interaction with teachers. And the key here is other students too. We can't duplicate the side-by-side, get with your partner, elbow partner, think, pair, share, but we can do it in rooms. And I'm sure some of you have already been in breakout rooms, and it is a little different, but once you get over it, then you start the collaboration going. We have targeted supports for our English learners, our students new to the country, and also students with IEPs, and you'll hear a little bit about that as we go through. One of the things we're working on, some of you are still in the stable cohort mind where we're going to take little tiny groups and run them through school. We are 100% distance learning. If students come on campus and need to get a Wi-Fi hotspot or some of those things, we will accommodate that. If parents need to come on campus, we are asking that you sign up for an appointment so that we can manage and control the safety and disinfectant on campus. So I know you're going to see a difference. I know that our teachers feel better prepared to deliver. The question is, are the students ready to participate and engage in distance learning? And we hope so. So you're going to have to unmute Mr. Negri, and he's going to take you through our information systems. Thank you.
Mr. Negri is ready.
All right.
Hello. So being online most of the time, now we have to rely on so many other different ways of communication because we can't just go in person. And so our information systems are going to be even more valuable to parents as we move forward. So let me just help break down what we use them for. So we have Infinite Campus, and Infinite Campus is our official information system where you're going to be able to track attendance and official grades, not the up to minute kind of grade, but the official grades at the quarter and semesters. Those are the ones that go on the transcript. You're going to be able to access your student schedule. So I know in the chat, many of you are asking about your student schedule. Well, coming up on Saturday, August 8th, you will be able to go into Infinite Campus and be able to print out your student schedule. So you'll know the breakdown and how they'll follow their rotation first through 0 through 7th period. So you'll be able to understand that and access that in Infinite Campus. And also be able to follow any kind of interventions or things that teachers are doing to be able to help support your students. Obviously, teachers will be communicating with you, but they'll also be able to log those interventions in Infinite Campus. Different than Canvas. Now, Canvas, we're probably, as families, most familiar with, because that's where you get your syllabus, that's where you look at your homework, that's where you're chasing down your student because you see zeros and missing stuff. That is going to continue to be our academic really portal for parents to check on student progress, for students to access their syllabus and homework and things like that. Now, teachers may have different kinds of breakout things that they'll instruct students with, but Canvas is going to be that main source. It also is going to be the main source of communication for parents to be able to reach out to teachers and to counselors and to staff members. And so you can find all those folks in Canvas as well as the website, but in Canvas to be able to communicate. Now, for our new families coming to Woodside, just know your students' login information is always their username is their student ID number. Their password is their initials and 6-digit birthday. So 2-digit month, 2-digit day, 2-digit year. Once they go on, they'll be able to change those passwords. They'll actually be prompted to do so, so that there's safety in the portal. Also, and that's equal for Canvas, Infinite Campus, and Canvas. For parents, you should have received or will receive communication from the district giving your login information and your passwords. That'll happen if you've already received it and you've misplaced it. You can communicate with the guidance office to be able to get that information. But for new families, that's going to be mailed to you so that you can access that information. Now, student schedules are still, we're still creating the master schedule, putting the finishing touches on it. And I know that it was a challenge at the end of the year to be able to understand what your students signed up for. There was communication that went out. Just know that we're going to make sure that we correct any errors in your student schedule. So feel comfortable in letting us know that your student's missing something, and we'll be able to make sure that we correct any of that. So your students on day one are getting in the classes they need to and the classes that they officially signed up for. So just know that on Saturday, August 8th, those schedules will be available through Infinite Campus, and we're going to work with you to make this as smooth as a transition as possible. So feel free to reach out to your guidance counselor for any additional questions that you have. If you're curious on who your guidance counselor is, because we did have some changes that we'll talk about, they will be listed on your student schedule. And so it'll be like a 10th period, and you'll see your actual students' guidance counselors. So for new families, that'll be a way to indicate. For families that are already part of the Woodside community, it'll reference people that you've already been communicating with, hopefully.
Thank you, Francisco. Ms. Mazzei, are there any common questions that are popping in chat that we can address?
There has been some questions related to electives. We will be offering the full battery of electives. So everything from digital photography to art and ceramics, we will be offering that. We understand that many of those things require additional supplies and stuff, and we're working on a way of distributing all that stuff and making it available to students so that they can really enjoy the experience. And so as far as electives go, we're offering everything for students in the hopes that when we transition back, it'll be a smooth transition and nothing will change in your student schedule. And so that's really the goal, is creating a system that if we have to go, if we get the opportunity to go back in campus, which we all want, we can do that very smoothly without any big changes. And if we have to go distance learning, it won't be a big deal either. And so understanding that we can pivot both ways.
Thank you. Well, I'm finding out how to unmute Ms. Mazzei again to check on chat. Let's go to safety protocols with AVP Chuck Velskow.
Thank you, Diane. I am one of 2 AVPs here at Woodside. Ms. Porter is the other one. I am A through L. She is M through Z. And just like if we were in a traditional classroom, we're going to expect appropriate behavior from the students. As they've been hearing for their entire academic career, going back to kindergarten, obviously be respectful all the time to staff members and fellow students. Much of that, obviously first quarter, pretty much all of that will be virtual, it'll be online, there'll be Zoom calls and emails and so forth. So we're going to always expect them to have professional and appropriate language and communication. one of the important things, especially when we're in the electronic stage that we are, is that academic integrity is going to be essential. They cannot copy or share any completed assignment or test. There has to be proper citations, and obviously teachers will explain this in much greater detail and explain and teach the kids how to do that appropriately. In terms of campus access, you can only come on campus if you have an appointment. That means that somebody who is here, somebody on staff knows that you're coming. That may be for tech support. It may be for athletic conditioning. In that case, the coach knows you're coming, but we are following the San Mateo County health orders in terms of those protocols once you're on campus. That means you must have a face covering. Everybody must maintain physical distance, and we have to have your temperature checked. At the appropriate time, if we are able, hopefully, to successfully move into like a hybrid learning model, students will have their temperatures checked at a designated spot so they can efficiently move to class. That will happen in the morning. Please make sure if students are on campus that they're wearing their face coverings appropriately. That means covering their nose and their mouth, and obviously maintaining the physical distance. And we will have arrows directing traffic. Again, as I'm hopeful that we can transition second quarter into some type of hybrid model as students move around the class or the campus. So we want to be safe and we want them to be able to learn. And we're looking forward to having that happen.
And so is there any other questions popping in chat, either Ms. Mazzei or Mr. Negri?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things on tech. I've now put the link if you need to sign up to request a hotspot or a laptop. So that's in the chat link. There's questions about platforms, online platforms. Our two primaries are Google Meet and Zoom. There's been a desire to kind of pick one over the other, and I think we're in talks right now to figure that out. But right now, those are our two choices. And then textbooks. How do you get your textbook? Well, under the new COVID guidelines, the Williams Act, if we have textbooks that are online, that will suffice. Many of our textbooks are online. And so that would take care of the need for a student to physically pick that course textbook up. But we are working on a plan, and we will roll that out soon.
I think many families are also asking about how when we return, what that's going to look like. And we're not at that phase right now. We're rolling out distance learning for the first quarter. And although we are absolutely thinking and planning in such a way, it is not in a stage in any way to be able to roll out, because no decisions have been made. So we're focused really on starting the school off distance learning and making it the best possible experience for your students. And so that's what the focus is.
And yes, we will have PE.
All righty, and so next up for arena check-in, best laid plans, and then we have this whole thing that we're going to do with freshmen as close to arena check-in as we used to, but I can't shake your hand, sorry kids. And then we get the new health orders today, which are ramping up. So the date of Saturday, August 8th is tentative. Ms. Porter, please take it away.
Hi, good evening. Wendy Porter, M through Z and other things. We do know that arena check-in, we have this long history and it works for our students, and we just knew we were going to have to put fewer things in the arena. So we really looked at what's essential for freshmen, for Frosh, incoming ninth graders and students new to Woodside. So the date is there, and as Ms. Burbank said, it's tentative. We would break it down into a 15-minute time slot by last name. And in terms of what's essential, we're looking at a photo for Infinite Campus for the freshmen, because they don't have one in there yet. They get a temporary ID card that then the photo would be attached to. We would have a system for them to check out the textbooks that they wanted through the library. So the two indoor spaces that are large. They would get a paper copy of their schedule, a planner, or other info. And on the back of their schedule, they'd get a map with a self-guided tour of key spots on campus where there would be students who are participating in our peer student groups to explain what those spaces are, and everyone would be distant and so forth. So that was a plan. And we will, stay tuned for that. We would, of course, practice all those safety measures of temp checks, face coverings, and so forth. And we would ask that people didn't come with a posse, with a crowd, so that we could keep the flow going and minimize the number of people on campus. And we did have a makeup date scheduled for Friday, August 14th. Now, students in grades 10 through 12 have been on campus. They're returning Wildcats. They have a photo in Infinite Campus. So we'd really focus on what's essential for them, the textbooks that they would need to pick up, for particularly those that weren't online. And typically we get textbooks the first week of school, and their first week of instruction is August 17th. So we would have a system, is what we're planning at this point, for textbook pickup for grades 10 through 12. And their photos will roll over.
Sorry, a little bit too far ahead. Go back, go back. Ah, the mouse is going crazy. All right, well, we're not at the end. Don't listen to that. All right, trying to get over one more screen. Tim, go ahead and take it away.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Tim Faulkner. I'm the athletic director here. Thank you so much for joining. I'm sure there are a lot of questions with what's been going on, and we're here to answer some of those. So if you kind of look on your screen here, the CIF, the Interscholastic Federation of California, that oversees high school sports in coordination with CCS, our section that we fall under here at Woodside, has come up with 2 seasons. So they've, in a nutshell, condensed 3 seasons of sport, fall, winter, and spring, into 2 seasons. And you can see on the slide, season 1, we have 4 sports plus cheer, which is year long. Start date planned for December 14th. And if you scroll over here to look at season 2, you'll see actually 3 separate start dates. So badminton, soccer, and tennis will start February 22nd, swimming March 8th, and then wrestling, basketball, baseball, golf, lacrosse, softball, and track on March 15th. Again, I'm a lot of questions with this, but I'm really encouraged that there is a plan for us to have athletics this year. So that is the calendar that we will be following here at Woodside. Some important reminders that we wanted to talk about. As I stated, the 3 seasons of sports been condensed into 2 seasons. Sophomores, juniors, and seniors will still earn PE credit for completing a season of an on-campus sport. So we wanted to make that clear. Required, as always, for athletic participation here is Sportsnet registration and an updated physical. And once the physical is completed, that is valid for 1 year. I've put some links up on this page for our athletic website where you have access to Sportsnet, so you can register online. My email is on this as well. And again, I'm sure there's questions. Please direct those to me and I will do my very best to answer them. And I linked the schedule, the sports calendar, and some bylaw modifications that CCS has come out with on this as well. Yeah, we can.
Thank you, Tim. All right. And activities, Ms. Whip.
Hi, yes, thank you. So we learned last time when we went into place with distant learning that making sure that students feel connected to the school is really important. And so the student government, which is our BOSA team, as well as our class board officers, have been working over the summer of trying to figure out how we can continue to keep the Wildcat spirit going. And what we really want to do is focus on that sense of belonging. Therefore, we are working on having virtual meetings, which is something that we did in the spring. And we found that it was very successful. And so What we plan to do is to have our class boards, which is, again, something that all students are welcome to participate. It's a meeting for kids at their various grade levels to attend their class board meetings. We will be holding a election for 9th grade officers, and that will be done virtually, which we had success with in the spring when we did our other elections. And the election date will be Thursday, September 10th. Information will be sent out to students and via their school email account, as well as we always post information on the website, as well as social media accounts. One of the other areas of focus from the Student Activities Office is really going to be our clubs and keeping everyone involved with their particular interests. And so we are encouraging our clubs to still stay involved and hold virtual club meetings. And we will be posting, again, information about how to find out where a club meeting is, where Zoom. We will be using that information. We'll get the information from the clubs and then hope to post it on our website under clubs, as well as the leadership students are working on holding a virtual club rush. The key thing that we have always been saying is just to stay connected and stay informed. And so we do ask that people follow. We have our Instagram account, which is Wildcat Spirit, as well as each grade level has their own Instagram page where they'll be posting where a Zoom meeting is or things like that on those. We also have the Woodside High School Facebook page. And again, the website is very important. If you look under the students tab of the website, you will find information for student activities as well as clubs. And so when information is ready to go out, we will make sure that is updated.
Thank you, Ms. With. And another thing that we will still have is the daily planner. We'll find a way to get those in kids' hands, likely when kids go up through the library, up the steps through the library, down the back way that they're not supposed to go, to be able to pick up their textbooks along with their day planner. We've kind of gotten expert at pickups because we did it for yard signs for seniors. We did it for diplomas. We've done it for tech check-in. And we did it for collecting team uniforms in the spring. So the bus circle and the student parking lot were great for those kinds of pickups. So we'll be using what we learned in the spring and applying it to the textbook checkout that we'll need to do by the first week of school. So stay tuned for that. Yes, thumbs up to day planners. Miss Mazzei and Mr. Negri are chat managers. Anything popping in chat?
Now, one of the things when we mentioned, and I think Francisco mentioned about supplies for students, we're calling them toolkits. And what we've been doing and what we learned from our prior experience with distant learning is that when teachers were prescribing some assignments, the students didn't necessarily have the equipment. Now, it's not like we can give a kid a big block of clay and a little wheel and have them spin and do the ceramics. But what we're doing now is we're putting together, for example, for Algebra 1, these are the essential things you're going to need to participate. It might be a protractor, it might be pencils, it might be things as simple as that. But for Art 1, we're going to provide charcoal pencils, colored pencils, some drawing paper, things of that nature for students who want them.
All right, and with our new one of our new algebra courses, which combines algebra with robotics and some building blocks, so that we've already made little toolkits and had experience over the summer getting those to kids. So those are the kinds of pickup things that as an essential function, education in schools, kids will be allowed on campus with you to come pick those up. All right.
Mr. Bank, there's a lot of questions about sports, and I just wanted to let folks know that they're still making decisions. One of the key decisions coming up tomorrow, as far as if a student can play 2 sports during a season time. Remember, that's not a school decision per se. It's a league decision as well as a district decision. And so we're keeping all those things in mind about students, committing, 3 years and they're seniors and they want to play both sports. We keep all those things in mind, and we're trying to make the best decision to have these sports take place through the season. So I just want you to know that you're well represented with Mr. Faulkner and Mr. Velskow, and we'll do everything possible to make that work. The other thing is with club sports, a lot of questions about club sports as well as high school sports. Unfortunately, high school sports don't work around club sports. And so the clubs will have to adjust to what high school sports do, when those decisions are made.
Mr. Faulkner, do you have any clarification on that?
I do. I will, one of the bylaw modifications made from CIF was to waive bylaw 600. So students now this year can participate in both club and high school sports at the same time, just for this year only. So I just wanted to clarify that. Thanks, Mr. Negri.
We're all learning at the same time. Thanks for that clarification. All right, let's go to some supports that we have on campus. First, mental health, and then special education for students with IEPs. Mental health first, and Miss AVP Porter is my liaison to that program.
So we learned a lot during the spring about what students need in this area, and we're able to adapt and find out what they need more and less of. For example, more group interaction and group support in mental health and things like that. So we'll be continuing our longstanding partnership with Adolescent Counseling Services, or ACS as we call them, and Acknowledge Alliance. We will be able to have individual and group supports, group counseling, scheduled appointments, and then walk-in services. We'll continue those when we are back on campus safely. Ms. DeSue will continue as our mental health support specialist. She facilitates the referral process, connecting students with clinicians. And the referrals typically go through school staff. So the school counselor, the AVP, or the nurse. Other staff and parents and students can contact those people if they want to start the referral process, and then Ms. DeSue will take it from there. She also will continue with our students offering support peer leader groups. And I saw a question in the chat, she will have virtual freshman transition. We'll have 6 ACS clinicians this year, an on-site supervisor, 2 Acknowledge Alliance interns and a supervisor, and services in English and Spanish. Until we're able to return to in-person services, we'll continue to collaborate in the telehealth model with our community partners. And I do want to say we're really grateful to our foundation and the Fund in Need and all of the support they gave for mental health to continue and expand our services for the coming year. So thank you so much.
And Ms. Porter's on a roll.
I am. We learned a lot about special education support as well. The needs of our students with IEPs, how curriculum delivery and case manager intervention. I think the first thing that's important to know is that any student with an IEP, the family will be getting a letter from our Director of Special Education, Ilya Van Laar. That'll come out next week. It'll have a lot of information in there. What I can say tonight, some sort of key points from that is, number one, very important, the district will continue to provide special education related services, that your child's case manager will be delivering information about the plans to implement. Those plans may vary from in-person because the needs of the student at distance and in-person may vary. Students will have interaction, instruction, and check-ins through video, audio, and print materials. And there'll be live interaction between teachers, peers, and students, as you've heard before. As always, the best point of contact, first and best point of contact for questions about your individual students' needs or interventions is the case manager.
All right, now I think it's my turn. Anything popping before we launch into parent groups? Anything popping on chat we want to address?
You know, I think I just want to acknowledge all the parents and stakeholders on this, that you're extremely supportive. We are going to need you to be able to navigate the distance learning, and we appreciate your comments, but we also appreciate your supports. Many of these comments are thanking us, so thank you.
Thank you, absolutely. Speaking of parents, an important stakeholder group, we've got parent groups online as well. And just like We navigated at-home learning for your student. You navigated it. We navigated distance instruction, and we'll all be better at it to start. Our parent groups will also start online. So we've got a myriad of parent groups, and we've got some specific ones who provided information for me tonight. ABO stands for Athletic Boosters. They support 22 sports, 45 teams, and over 700 athletes. Now more than ever, as we're going to have multiple teams, multiple seasons crunched into one, field space, lighted fields, all of those things are going to be really important. But the Sports Boosters has helped us fund over the summer conditioning, a year-long strength and conditioning coach, additional assistant coach stipends, and of course, uniforms and equipment, which, all teams need. So you can follow ABO, start to get involved online with all of their efforts. Thank you to our ABO. Also, thank you to our foundation, the Successful Fund a Need last year that supports mental health this year and into future years because it was so successful, but also because of the year-long fundraising that the foundation does, which will be a class size reduction. It allows for expanded course offerings. We're only funded by the district for students to take 6 classes. So if your kid is taking 7 or even 8 classes, you're welcome. Thank you to the foundation for that. The summer programs, the math acceleration that we had over the summer, that is thanks to the foundation. And when we're back on campus and can do the live tutoring support, that also is thanks to the foundation. Love them. Also, our PTSA, Parent Teacher Student Association, will be very active, and the big one, two orange arrows for the weekly update. It's really important because it's my way of communicating out to families, and that arrives in your mailbox on Sunday nights. We keep them with a lot of links, not a lot of text, so that it doesn't end up in your spam filter and you have to fish it out. So if you are not yet signed up for that, or maybe you blocked it at one point in your spam filter and you want to get reconnected, go to that URL and get signed up for it again. PTSA provides parent education and all the teacher and staff hospitality, as well as scholarships for seniors. They do really good work with our ELD students in supporting them. So thank you to our leaders of PTSA and members. Thank you. There's some people in the Zoom box that I want to acknowledge. I see back in the day when I was growing up and we had romper room and Miss Marianne looked through a fake mirror, a hollow mirror. I see Dr. Streschley and I see board members, Mr. Sarver, Mr. Thompson, and Miss Jack. I'm sorry if I've missed anybody else. And I have unmuted you. Dr. Streschley, as I often say, she's the boss of me.
Thank you so much, Principal Diane Burbank. What an extraordinary presentation. I'm ready to go. This has been nothing less than devastating for our amazing campuses and programs, especially the great programs built by this extraordinary team. The team led by Principal Burbank for so many years is really a model in the district, and so many other principals and staff look to them for leadership. And especially during this time, they did nothing less than stand up and tackle this. The Woodside staff and teachers, many of whom have been working tirelessly throughout the whole summer to tackle this. These cities that are bustling throughout the year to move them entirely online into a virtual atmosphere has been nothing less than excruciating and an extraordinary lift. But this is the team to do it. They didn't blink. They picked up the work, and you see before you hours and hours and hours throughout the summer with no vacations to bring the programs we love and our educators behind them to you. And so I want to do a big shout out to the staff, and that Woodside's become what it is based on the extraordinary families and all of your generous support and your trust in our school, that we've got this, and that this team has got this. And there's a lot more work to do as we once again react to our county moving towards the watch list. So I'll be putting out a communication very soon. But I believe everything they've said to you today will still be able to come through either in some form or at some time as soon as possible throughout the year. Our governing board has had undaunting support. And so the trustees on here, Georgia Jack, Alan Sarver, Chris Thompson, it's taken a lot of courage. The decisions have been, once again, excruciating from the top, just as hard as the work from the ground up. So thanks, everybody. And the Sunflower School is going to be vibrant and as live as ever. Go Wildcats.
That's my line. So thank you for everybody. We're going to end the meeting now so that we can get prepared for the Spanish speaking meeting that begins at 6 o'clock. One last chat question that came up, because we usually begin the first day of the school year and the first day of the second semester with a 0 through 7 schedule. Not this year, babies. We're going to dive right into the rotation. So on Monday, August 17th, you're going to start with your schedule, your odd numbered periods, 3, 1, 1, 3, 5, and 7 on the first day of school. Go Wildcats. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.